I think.
We got Prax, the one and only. Monsieur Prax Venter. Oh, there it is!
What year is it? What's happening?
This is the question that I always want to know. Prax, yes, please tell us, what year is it and what is happening?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. I've been alone in this void for time immemorial, and I have no idea what's happening around me at any given moment.
Can you tell us, Prax, how did you end up in this void to begin with? What's the origin story here?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that the origin story of this void is me writing stories and crafting content and hiding away from the world so I don't have to be influenced by all the evils in it or something like that. That's my origin story. Yeah, no, I guess I quit my job and now I just sit in the dark all day and make things up, and people buy it, I guess.
People buy it, people read it, people listen to it.
You've won the
People
game.
make audiobooks out of it.
Consume it.
You guys make audiobooks out of it. You guys the stars there.
That's on you.
Yeah, but I mean, we couldn't do it without you. What is an audiobook without words? I mean,
It's just one of us in the booth,
Nice
kind of like.
philosophical question.
sound effects and awesome music by Mohammed.
Ahmed
by
Mahmoud.
Ahmed.
Ahmed Mahmoud.
Mohammed. I'm sorry.
Ahmed.
Oh, damn it! Well, guys, it's
buzzer.
been great. No, thank you for having me. It really is an honor and a pleasure and a dream come true to be working with you guys, working with Soundbooth Theater, and just being in this void is a dream come true.
Dude, it's so great working with you. Not only do I love working on Irrelevant Jack, but you're also just a cool dude. And this is not.
I get that a lot.
I know you do, and I just want to kind of echo the sentiment that we like you. The world likes you, Prax. Yeah, we like
you.
Prax, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
we like Prax. Yeah.
Well,
So
There it is.
there it is. Irrelevant Jack 5 is out. It's on its way to Audible very, very soon. We've got some final chapters that should be coming in any time. I heard from the engineer today, but I haven't found the files yet. But they are there. They exist. So stay tuned for Irrelevant Jack 5. You've listened to some of it already, Prax. What can you tell people about the Irrelevant Jack series at this point, and what to expect from this next release?
okay, sure. Yeah, I always when I am in this position and I have to discuss the series and the books and the story, the audiobook currently is up to 4. You guys are about to put out 5, and I'm writing 6, like in the middle of it right now. So, like, what spoilers and what can I talk about? And I always shuffle around that. But I think I'm just going to jump into. Okay, so the story is more about, I say, less about the main character Jack and more about the people around him. That's kind of how I write a lot of my stories. Is the main character is there? He's got a character. He has growth, but the people around him, I try and make as much as the main character as I can. And some people also comment that there isn't necessarily a big bad that they fight. Like there isn't, there is eventually at some point you run into them, but the main part of the story is the characters growing and developing. And the end, one of my biggest I don't know, hobbies, I don't know what you want to call it, enjoys or interests is artificial intelligence. And when I started the series, I created NPCs that weren't necessarily fully fleshed out. They weren't necessarily understanding their world and the position they were in. And as the series continues, everybody, Jack brings his humanity into it, and they start becoming more real as the series goes on, and the characters grow and challenge their world and start to take it from him, not necessarily from him, but start taking initiative and start moving forward with exploring what they need to do and understanding their role in the universe.
Right.
So that again, Go ahead.
Oh yeah, the artificial intelligence aspect. You know, I hadn't even thought of it like that. Because you do, the characters feel so natural. The characters feel, even from book one, like there's this really cool element where they feel like real kind of fleshed out people. And you have to be reminded that they are artificial, and they're learning from Jack in this very natural, progressive way, learning how to cheese
Right.
the game.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I keep, like, I don't know. I like philosophy and human nature and a lot of things that try and wrap into there too. And it's the first, it's him convincing them, or them convincing him that it isn't a game, and then him convincing them that it is, and then eventually them all coming together and realizing it's kind of both. And it it doesn't matter. None of it matters. And the only thing that matters is their lives and what they do with it, and what the future, and how they can control their own destinies and things like that. So that's kind of the focus, without getting into major spoilers or anything like that.
Right.
What, how do they react to what their world is that's not real? How would you react to finding out you had major losses, you've lost family, and everything around you is closing in, and you realize the whole thing was just a game, but it's a game that's being played to save the universe, all universes everywhere. Do you rise to that and say, I will take, this is my destiny. I am embracing it. Right. So that's the series, I guess.
Wow. I mean, that's deep. I mean, that's definitely rings parallel to my understanding of life, the universe, and everything. I am curious. You mentioned philosophy, and are there any philosophical sort of tenets or leaders that have influenced you to get to a point where you're writing about this sort of human nature dynamic in your books?
Boy, I wouldn't say that like I am a academic or whatever. Like I wouldn't be able to mention like any specific philosophers or anything like that. I guess just what I've learned in when I worked a lot in sales and marketing, and how to, and like I've been in a lot of management positions before I was a writer, and I'm trying to bringing that to Jack too, as far as the philosophy and like what a good leader is, and how they don't necessarily tell people what to do, and you need to do this, you need to do that. What they need to do is tell people what the situation is, and explain and help them achieve what their potential is, help them make those decisions, and that would help everyone, or leading from behind, I guess, or right. So that's kind of one of the philosophical things, that the phrase that keeps Jack keeps mentioning when he's talking to the NPCs one at a time, and trying to bring them around to what he wants to do or what he thinks is best, is people puzzles, where each individual person has something that will help them see what they need to do, and break it down, and just understand how they themselves can be better, I suppose.
Right.
So that's one of them.
Right. First off, I do want to say in the audience, I think that we might have questions already, but I would like to open it up. If you do have questions for Prax in the audience,
ask me anything.
Ask
even
Prax
you guys.
Anything. Yeah, Jeff, Gary,
I got questions.
Joe. Yes, please.
Hit me, Jeff. Hit me with your best.
Okay, so I watched like 6 of your pornos yesterday.
Okay, good.
Very, very curious. Very curious about this. So where did that come from?
Okay. Well, shifting gears into my adult triple X hardcore enthralled and Mark 2.0 series. 18 plus. Yeah, do not go there if you're not interested in monster girl porn. But the same, to wrap that up real quick, or to tie that up to what I was talking about earlier, the characters in that, I would say, are even stronger as main characters. The harem side of that, where the female characters are, I'd say some of them are even more main characters than the main character himself. But anyway, we're worked with an actual porn star, Charlotte Sartre. I think that's how you pronounce her. That's an actual philosopher's last name. Sartre.
Yeah.
It's French. And that's how she named herself. She's real into. We've had a lot of conversations, but anyway, I hired her to create a promo video dressing up, cosplaying as one of the characters in my Enthralled series, a Nyx, and she did an amazing job, and that's super hardcore. But the whole point of that was to promo the book, Jeff. Like the whole point. She's holding the book in the thing. She's reading it before she starts going to town.
Yeah.
But the thing with porn is that I've learned from this whole experience is that sharing it, like everything is now like clamped down really. Share, you can't post it anywhere. You can't share it or do anything with it. Right. And for I'm sure I can say X videos on it. That's where it is. I said it now.
Xvideos.com.
Don't go there.
This episode is brought to you by
sponsored by Pornhub.
So to get the video that I produced that I wanted the world to be seen by the world, I had to make more content. They were like, yeah, buddy, whatever, you made a video, great. So I had to do more for them to verify me and allow my channel to be searched and everything like that. And I struggled for 6 months, like, oh my God, do I hire more? And like finding the right she was perfect for that character. I liked the way she looked. It was exactly like how I pictured the character. Anyway, long story short, I found that Wildlife game, and just basically it's machinima, or I don't know if you ever saw Red vs. Blue with Halo.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically that. So I have a little bit of control over. I did some time with the characters and there's limitations, and I'm basically being really creative with camera shots and angles and trying to make sense of cinematography. Like there's a scene where a girl with long white hair is hanging upside down, and in the background is a waterfall. So I'm like really trying to kind of make it like something elevated a little bit more than just porn, and trying to bring more of my spin to it. So that's why that all exists.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I did watch that Wildlife, you said?
Yeah, that's the name of the software that's still in like super early alpha, and that's the sandbox that they have.
It's very detailed. It's very impressively
it's very
detailed.
That's what it's for. I mean, and Jeff, you mentioned the cucumber.
Well, there was a cucumber. I don't think I see that one.
For some reason, that's in there, and that's all there is. There isn't any other objects. So I'm like, well, how do I use this? And I built a scene around a farmer, and watering crops.
Yes.
So there, Jeff, do you have any further questions?
No, just curious about that. Lots of yeah, it's funny to watch. I watched some of it. It was funny.
Great.
Definitely go check it out. X videos. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Not there.
Yeah,
just search my name.
Search Prax Venter there, though.
Yeah.
So
that's marketing at its finest. I think that you are the first author that you are definitely the first author that I know of who's marketed in this way.
Yeah, I think so too.
New audiences.
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do. Again, a lot of my background before writing is in marketing and sales, and one of the things that I learned is networking and like working with other people and like building those bridges so you bring in new people into your funnel and all that. I'm not going to say it's like super effective yet. That just got out into the world, but. Hey, it's. I'm just gonna keep throwing crap at the wall and see what cucumbers stick.
Yeah.
That's the theme of the next video.
They're sticky.
This is sticky cucumber.
Way off Jack.
I don't know how we can segue out of this conversation smoothly.
Okay, how about this? I have on my Patreon. I have in Irrelevant Jack 3, I think 3 or 2. They have sex, Jack and Lex.
Yes.
Spoilers. But
Spoiler
it's a super fade to black. There is there is no sex.
Jeff
is doing.
Hey,
that's what it looks like. He has a very tiny penis. So what? It just rattles around in there. So if you go to my Patreon, I wrote out that scene. expand.
Yeah.
There's a whole hardcore triple X scene
I
between
love it.
Jack and Lex on my Patreon. So I merged both worlds there. I'm not going to say there's a super lot of stuff on my Patreon, so be careful if you want to sign up. I know that's kind of not the right thing that you want to say, but I just want to be honest with you. I'm
No,
not
people can
super
sign
great
up,
with that.
get the stuff, and if they want to
But-
stay subbed, they can stay subbed.
Anyway, so now that's Irrelevant
Or they
Jack
can
with
dom.
Yeah.
they
They can
They
dom
can
your
dom?
Patreon.
They can dom your Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's what I
All
said.
right. Let it happen, you know. Let
so
it
so
happen.
that leads us back into Irrelevant Jack.
Yes, Irrelevant Jack. So the cast of Irrelevant Jack. I'm trying to. I was trying to segue into the clip because we have a clip.
Oh.
We have a clip from book 4.
Book 4. Okay.
And this is a very special scene because the performance was done by Andrea Parsno, performing as Lex. And Lex, for those of you who do not know, Lex is a Bastion, and she's kind of like a singy tank. She can tank, but then she also uses her singing abilities to heal, I guess like a paladin or a cleric.
Fighter bard.
Yeah, fighter bard. Fighter
Halberd.
bard. Oh, that's a lit RPG right there. Come on.
Fighter bard.
And she I guess a little bit of preface. So Prax, you wrote the song.
Yes.
And we're gonna hear the lyrics, and we'll talk about. I'll ask you about the lyrics afterwards.
Okay.
But after we hear it, but Andrea Parsino, I basically just was like, hey, like we've got this song, like can you do it like this? And then I kind of like sang it like la 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 la, and we need like different parts or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I think I can do something with that. And what she sent was just like beyond anything I could have imagined, like different layers. And because when Lex sings, there's multiple voices kind of chiming in. It's this very ethereal, beautiful
For this one ability.
choral. Yes, for this ability. And so Andrea took it, like, talk about going above and beyond. Like this woman is just out of sight. So you're gonna hear Andrea Parsino singing as Lex in Irrelevant Jack for Maestro Ahmed. Play the clip.
Rise, my team, smash fierce and rush, fierce and red, beyond the suffering ends, my team, smash fierce. Our power grows, we transcend, beyond the suffering end.
Right?
Could you not get someone talented to do that?
God.
Christ, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lex buffing the party.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it is surreal. It is unexplainable, inexplicable, and to be in the position I am. I don't know, you guys hear it and you think that, but for me, I'm blown away.
The lyrics that you've got there, they're lyrics for buffing the party. What goes into your creative process when you're writing a song like that?
Well, for that particular one, so yeah, her aether tone kind of, she has, there's in the RPG world or LitRPG world, there's the or even the cultivation world, there's paths that people have, and she's a rare class. The Bastion class is that rare path that can sing and block and tank, and so everything she sings is that ethereal. It's kind of like, she's singing, but it's also like coming from another dimension, kind of a thing.
Right.
So that's kind of why I made that one 3. Every time when she sings, or she casts that ability, 3 of her voices echo back to her. So it's around. It's a like row 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 your boat. That's that's where I started. Like I said, I wanted to do something like that, and what you guys did is above and beyond what I wrote. If you look at the actual text, it's kind of, you know, a lot more simple than that. You know, it's not as echoey, and like the lines are rephrased or whatever, you know, how you whatever musical term that is. But
they're synced up in different ways. They're overlapped and layered.
yeah,
God, I'm a
it's like
musician. I don't know the words.
it's a cover basically of what I intended, but it's beyond, it's way beyond what I imagined. So when I'm thinking, when I write that, I was just thinking, you know, like what words and what feeling do you want to, like, I'm there, she's motivating her team. She's she's taking she's trying to inspire them. It's like an inspirational song. So that's where that came from. And Justin just
Counterpoint.
vanished.
That's what it's called.
Counterpoint. Okay.
Yeah, I also don't know what it means, but I think it's right.
What I was referring to is like when they rearrange, or arrange
Right.
the song. The arrangement, I think, is what I was looking for. But hey, sure, you know that. I don't know. Yeah, that's counterpoint is beyond even my. I don't even know what that would mean. But yes, so that's where that came from.
That's awesome. Have you ever, like, when your audiobooks have been done and like certain characters have been voiced a certain way that maybe you didn't think, have you then gone and thought, oh shit, that's now how I'm going to write that character with that kind of weird voice in mind? Or has like that kind of thing happened before?
With especially with you, well, not you specifically, but
Do it, Soundbooth.
with Jeff and Justin and Andrea. Yes, though Lex is her and Haley is her, another character. Jack is Jeff. I was just telling Jeff when I heard the first couple chapters of this that if this ever gets picked up as a TV show or a movie or whatever, that if he isn't the main character himself, the actor, like playing it, then I would be disappointed. So because yeah, they are definitely them. More specific, like to give a real specific one, Andrea, when she does a kind of a side character named Raya, she does it so like she does this like farmer. I wrote her kind of like wanting her to sound simple and a little, you know, rural, but she just took that and just like elevated, like all you guys do, elevate the characters beyond what I hear in my head. So it is it's like a step back if I weren't to think about you guys as those characters. So yes, 1000%. Every time I hear them, those are the voices in my head now when I write new books. You know, so
That is
yes.
awesome. Also, no greater compliment to get as a narrator than like the author be like, "Oh yeah, I hear your voice when I write that character now."
Oh yeah.
That really is an awesome compliment. And I like playing Jack too. He's so wholesome. He's so
Good,
wholesome. He's wholesome, but he's like he's clever at the same time. And I like how he sort of separates the cheating that he does to game the system from, like, you know, morality of real life, you know. And it's weird because he's in this game-like world, but he's so emotionally attached to it that he can't help but use his morality, like when he's interacting with people and trying to get them to free themselves from the system.
Yeah, that's great, and that you guys identify that's my dream come true. And like if you take, you know, the character, and it's clear that you are by the performance, but if you read into it and make it your own, you know, take what I put down and then ingest that and spit out something that is, you know, that is you, you know, filtered through your experiences and your mind and your talent, and it's wonderful. But
yeah, he's definitely not wholesome in a lot of ways, right? But it's like the moral center, you know, the way, like you were saying, there's a lot in the book about leadership and how you're supposed to behave as a leader, and he learns. And he's learned. That's he's definitely learning to. He's definitely more wholesome than he was from the first book, right? Like
that,
you know,
right?
From the first book, he's King Cheese, you know, like he's trying to figure out ways to game everything, but then, like, he discovers, oh wait, these I mean, maybe they're NPCs, but they're real people.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so he decides, okay, I need to start treating people that way.
Right. Yeah, he's like down to earth, I guess would be a good way to is put him like he's grounded and like he's just a regular Joe. That's the thing too, is that he's not a super genius. He doesn't have any skills like military skills or whatnot. But yeah, he starts off being turned down for a leadership position because he's too impulsive, and that just impulsiveness and recklessness just scales back the more you go, and he transitions into his leadership role.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been really great working on this series. I can't believe it's already been 5 books, and the 5th book is coming out very soon, guys. So just keep an eye out for it. And ACX has been churning them out pretty fast after we submit them. So it's hard for me to imagine that we're going to be submitting it anytime later than tomorrow, or at the very latest, the very beginning of next week. So it's going to be out and ready for you guys to pick up and gobble up. So
it's a great cover.
Thank you. Yeah, it is a great cover. It's
really
actually
is.
probably my favorite cover of the whole series.
If I've got a minute, let me tell you how that cover came to be. I have that wasn't the original cover.
She kind of reminds me of the fawn from the cucumber.
Oh my god!
I have seen that video. It's in this in this time frame. I have seen it. Good cucumber.
That yeah. Do you notice there's a little bit of spoiler, that little V there? That's her name. Anyway, this wasn't the original cover. Talking about like working with artists like you guys and making it your own. The original cover I made. Like I make it from Photoshop, the brief, and I say, here, do this, and that's how I do a lot of them. And I didn't like it at all, what I did. I was like, God, this sucks. So I went back to the guy and said, okay, here are 2 characters, no age. Like, basically, here's, these are some very basic ideas. They're in this throne room with these vines behind them. Go. I don't care. Go. And the guy basically invented the way these characters look, my artist, Jacques. Wow. So I said, I want to see what you can give me. And like he made basically, I was originally picturing the female to be older and the king to be younger, and like my plan, but he gave me this and I changed the story to match the cover. And I'm a million, I wouldn't do it any other way. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm probably going to do going forward now, is just give them back to like, hey, you're the artist. Don't listen. I don't know what I'm doing. Do that again. So that's how this cover came to be.
Nice.
That's kick ass.
Yeah, it's really nice. So, coming out very soon, guys. We need to move on to the next segment, but thank you so much, Prax, for coming and hanging out with us.
Hey,
and,
thank you.
Spitting some wisdom and knowledge. Honored to have you here.
That was bowing.
That
just
I thought you were just looking at. I thought you were just checking to make sure your feet were still there. In
right.
The void.
That's why I wanted to make sure.
That is important, though. You do have to check
very
that.
Important. Mm-hmm. Justin is back.
Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Emergency meeting.
Thank you.
The laboratory.
Yeah, there was an emergency Kijiji order pickup that I wasn't aware of, that my roommate was coordinating, but that I was not involved in the coordination plans, and he's not home. So fire came, picked up the barbecue, and
we have plenty of hosts here.
All the hosts.
Cover
Did you guys just sit here and twiddle your thumbs the whole time?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't say a word until you got back.
Where's Jeff? Where's Justin? Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
All right. Well, Prax, once again, thank you so much, and
thank you, Prax.
Thank you.
I believe it is time.